right, so the market has changed definitely, all right? We have a lot more inventory on the market now, and homes are staying on the market a little bit longer now. What does that mean for you, all right? My name is Jim Fong. I'm an investor and realtor at Urban Nest Realty in Las Vegas, and I help buyers and investors like you identify investment opportunities. But let's get right back to it. We're talking about negotiations that are back now, all right? The market's changed. Things just are not the same. The demand is down due to the high interest rates, and homes are just sitting on the market. And because of that, more sellers are rushing to put their home on the market. So now we're seeing a big increase in inventory, all right? So what does that mean for you? All right, so in this video, I'm gonna show you some techniques I do for myself as an investor on how I negotiate for myself. And these are the things that I teach my clients to do as well too, for their home buying strategies and things like that as well too. All right, so very first thing I wanna talk about is price, all right? Price is everything right now. So in our past seller's market that we just came out of, sellers would see a neighbor sell their house for a certain price, and they would just add, 20, 50,000 onto it and just expect to get it. And for the longest time, they were just getting it like that too. They were just, even though there were no sales to support this number, they were just saying, hey, low inventory, it's a hot market, this is what I want, this is what they were getting, all right? They were just, and even if the property was not appraising, they were expecting buyers like you to just cover the difference, all right? If it appraised 20,000 low, well, it was up to the buyer to make that difference, all right? Well, that's all changed now, okay? That's all changed now. This overpricing of properties is not gonna work anymore. And that's why you're seeing all these home prices drop right now, because them putting just an arbitrary high number up there is not selling the house now. So now they have to drop it down to fair market value. And now there's all this competition. They need to drop the prices even more just to be competitive, right? So right now in this market, don't pay list price, don't pay over list price, negotiate, offer below list price. You can probably get a better price right now, okay? Good time to negotiate price. Second thing, home warranties. In a hot seller's market, the seller was not even offering home warranties to buyers. Buyers, if they wanted a home warranty, you were expected to pay it out of pocket, basically. That's changed now too. Ask the seller to give you a home warranty, all right? Next item, closing costs. It's a big one, closing costs. Super important, all right? But if you like videos like this or you find this information useful, be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel, all right? But let's get back to it. Closing costs, it's really important right now because during a balanced market or even in a buyer's market, sellers would often pay closing costs for buyers. And that's basically, the seller would give you as a buyer a credit, and you can use that towards your escrow fees, your lender fees, even use it for like a rate buy down. Yes, the seller could possibly pay money for you to get a lower interest rate, thus lowering your mortgage payment with a closing cost credit. I actually made a whole video about this too, so be sure to check that out. Here's a link to it. Check out that video too, and that's about what you can do with a seller credit towards your closing costs, all right? Something that's come up a lot more recently are solar panels. As people start using solar energy, we see a lot of sellers selling their home with solar panels, all right? Not a problem unless it is not paid for yet, right? If there's still a balance on it or the seller is on some type of lease payment, they were asking, buyers to assume these payments, assume these leases, and even pay for these transfer fees to get that into, your name as a buyer. Well, that's changed now too. I mean, I would even go as far as asking the seller to pay off the balance of the solar for you, or if they need you to assume a lease or something, at least handle all the transfer fees. They should be responsible for paying those fees to transfer that lease into your name, okay? And furthermore, let's go into SIDs, all right? In Las Vegas, we have a lot of master plan communities. So we have SIDs, which are special improvement districts like, Summerlin, Southern Highlands, Aliante, Sky Canyon, all these places have SIDs, all right? So in a more balanced market, you can definitely have sellers pay that down for you, or if it's a very low balance, ask them to pay the whole balance off for you. It's something that you can negotiate. You see home builders do this all the time actually too, so this is a negotiable item. Consider that, all right? Now, here's another really big point is contingency waivers, all right? In a hot seller's market, you see sellers asking buyers to waive all their contingencies. Well, things have changed, all right? For you as a buyer, you want to keep all your contingencies. You want to have your home inspected and make the sale contingent on that. So if you found something big, you can negotiate or cancel the deal and get your earnest money back, right? You want to have your appraisal contingency. So if it appraises low, you can renegotiate the price, all right? And then most importantly, you want your loan contingency too, right? If for some reason, let's say something happens with the interest rate, you don't qualify for the mortgage anymore, you should be able to cancel and get your earnest money back. Many newer agents have only worked a hot seller's market too. So it's important that you work with a agent that's experienced and knows how to negotiate on your behalf too. So personally, I've been investing here in Las Vegas since the early 2000s, right? So I've seen hot markets for buyers. I've seen hot markets for sellers. I've seen the mortgage crisis even too. So, it's important that you know how to negotiate in each of the markets, all right? I use this, as an investor in a buyer's market, I'm asking for all these things. I'm asking for all these things when I represent clients too. But if it's a seller's market, I have to be able to know how to acquire properties as well too, all right? I even, I help a lot of investors and even people in out of state or in different markets. We talk about this and we assess, the condition of the market, and that kind of helps us work out a good deal for that moment in that market. It's very specific. Okay, personal items or appliances, all right? So in a hot seller's market, we were seeing sellers taking their refrigerator, washer, and dryer and just selling them just so they can get a little more money and still sell their house to somebody with no appliances, all right? Things have changed as a buyer. You make sure they leave that refrigerator and washer and dryer for you. Who knows, if they have a nice outdoor patio furniture, you can even ask them to leave that. If there's a pool table in the loft, ask them to leave that. These are negotiable items, all right? Let's talk about repairs as well too. So again, in a hot seller's market, sellers were selling their homes as is to buyers like you, all right? So buyers like you had to just go in there, assume whatever damage or repairs were required and just buy it in that condition. Well, that's changed now too, all right? Get your home inspected, negotiate for some repairs. Have the seller fix all those little things that need to be fixed. Or if not, negotiate a credit, right? So you can pay for someone or do it yourself. All right, let's talk about close of escrow, all right? So coming out of this really hot seller's market, there were a lot of sellers out there that needed to sell before they can buy a house, right? So what they would do, they sell the home and then require you as the buyer to allow them to live in the house after closing. That's when they would get all the money from the sale of the house to you, and then they would start home shopping, right? Well, in the hot seller's market, they were asking people to just let them live there for free while they went home shopping, right? And a lot of buyers were agreeing to that. Well, things have changed again, all right? So if you're gracious enough to allow this rent back to accommodate this to a seller, the seller should be paying at least fair market rent or at least a fair portion of your mortgage to cover your costs of carrying this mortgage after closing, right? I know you don't have a payment until the next month, but you've prepaid interest already too, so it's not free. You should get something for that. And most importantly, make sure you get a security deposit, all right? A lot of times during the seller market, the seller did not want to pay any rent, nor did they want to leave a security deposit, all right? This protects you as the buyer of this new house of any damage they would do at the property after closing, all right? So use this video as a checklist, all right? Just be sure to know that, you can't ask for all these items on every house. It is specific and unique to each property, whether they have furniture, appliances, or in a SID or anything like that too. So thanks for watching the video, but be sure to check out my other videos about real estate investing. Thanks for watching.